We're live here on YouTube. It is Tuesday, and we are going to tell you a story that you're not going to read in what they call the mainstream San Francisco press. And I'm going to give you the inside dope, which is one of the reasons why thousands of you come here and are seeing me, watching me, because you don't want to read or hear about the bullshit, dope, the spin. So the big news today, making SF Gate, which is a joke in and of itself, but that's not the main reason why I'm here today. So these big banner headlines: KNBR hires Larry Krueger, rehires Larry Krueger, the same guy they fired couple of years ago. Why did they fire Larry Krueger? Same reason why they fired Rod Brooks, another retread. It was because they couldn't pay them the money, the real money. Krueger was making around $200,000 a year, which is not a lot of money, but modern day radio, that's a lot of money. Same thing with Brooks. They got rid of both of them because they simply had to erase costs. It was a bankruptcy that KNBR, as part of the Cumulus Radio Group, was just coming out of, and they had to show the bankruptcy judge that they were trimming costs. Folks, don't let the headline fool you. The reason why KNBR, I'll get it out, rehired Larry Krueger is because he's going to work on the cheap. He's not salaried. He's not going to be making $200,000 a year. Larry Krueger is going to get paid on a $100 to $200 kind of a piecemeal work, where you get a hit and then they pay you that money. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Larry Krueger was hired as part of beefing up the 49ers broadcasts, the pre- and post-game show. He's not a talk show host, although he could probably do fill-in if they need him. He was hired to beef up the 49ers pre- and post-game shows. That's where he's going to make his money. More importantly, though, folks, which you won't read in the SF Gate, the high school newspaper portion of the SF Chronicle, the other high school paper, is the fact that Krueger will be allowed to promote his YouTube show. That's where he makes his money. That's where he gets most of his income. He's not doing this, folks, because they rehired him on a salary position basis. They can't afford to pay. They're about to become an all syndicated out-of-market station any day now. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Not a knock on them. But this complete bullshit story, I started laughing because I know people that are on the up and up, the people that know what's taking place at KNBR, and their symbolic, at best, new program director, which is a joke in and of itself. It's the fact they're rehiring retreads. These are people that will continue to work, even come back, because they know the financial parameter. They understand they're not going to get what they were getting. No knock on them, but they're desperate. In the case of Krueger, he'll be able to promote his YouTube show. Great. Rod Brooks, another retread, as I said, not hired back on a salaried position. He does fill-in. They used him the other week when the moron, the blowhard Papa, was gone on his weekend or whatever vacation. And he too is getting piecemeal, $100 to $200 a hit, so he could fill in. They hired John Dickinson, who used to work at 95.7 The Game. Dickinson, they're giving a little bit more money, but all the reason why he was brought into the fold was that he's getting roughly $2,000 to $3,000 a month. They didn't make him a permanent talk show host. He doesn't have a salary position, folks. And again, keep in mind, these are individuals who are, they're retreads. You've heard them in and out of the bay. They can't bring in people from outside the market. Hell, they're having a hard enough time paying people that are there already, which is one of the reasons why Rumor, Tolbert, or John Lund, or perhaps even Brian Murphy will soon be a goner in the morning, perhaps in the midday, perhaps in the drive time in the afternoon. I'm not breaking anything new here, but you don't read that in the SF Gate Chronicle today about Krueger. They made it sound as if they were bringing in a Pete Franklin or bringing back Gary Radnich. Clearly, they are not. The radio economics of today has to do with money, or in this case, a lack of money. But again, you won't see that in the Chronicle. And Alex Simon, who coincidentally was on the Bill Lasky show a few times. I hear from very good sources that Simon has indicated many times he'd love to be on KNBR. Geez, I wonder what a coincidence that is that he's writing the article about Larry Krueger being rehired on $100 per hit. Not a bad gig, but it's not a salaried position. Krueger's not making what he made, which, folks, I understand that, but you don't. You get this bullshit spin, this BS. They don't want to give you the real reason. It's the fact that you will work Retread 1 for cheap. Thank you for agreeing to that. Even though you're on part of the 49ers, we'll allow you, 49ers show, will allow you to promote your YouTube show. Rod Brooks, every now and then, fill it. John Dickinson, well, we know you were struggling money-wise at the game. Come over to KNBR and work on the cheap for us. At least you'll have relative visibility and some traction. These are all, ladies and gentlemen, these are all economic hires. They're not anything significant. Krueger wants to promote his YouTube show, so they gave him a platform. It's kind of like years and years ago, I was blogging at SF Gate. They didn't pay me a dime, but they did give me an option to where I could promote my 415 media, which I accepted. And then they had such lack of money and capability of carrying what I was on that they had to let me go. And I kind of said, thank you. I had done what I had to do, and I promoted my blog, which worked out fine. I didn't brag about getting a humongous amount of fees. And by the way, I have made my money, my mark in Bay Area media. If I wanted a position, I wouldn't be doing this. This is my goal right now. You're not going to get full clarity on these ludicrous articles. They're so bizarre. They made it sound as if Gary Radnich was coming back. If Pete Franklin arose from the dead and came back to radio. Now, I'll tell you what, they brought in a New York guy, a talk show host, a real talk show host, and not the clowns that they have on currently from 10 to 2 with a schmuck. That's right, I said it, like John Lund, and vastly overrated Greg Papa, and soon to be probably looking around Tom Tolbert and Copy Copes, Adam Copeland, a former program director who now's been tossed aside for another fake fraud program director, a guy who runs the broadcast for the 49ers, a multiple hire kind of a guy who took this position as program director so he could bring in retreads like Larry Krueger. Ooh, boy, oh boy, we have Larry Krueger back. He could give us details on the 11th pick from the Texas University background. Yeah, that's going to draw on a lot of viewers. Oh, dear Lord. Full clarity. I take no joy in the fact of lampooning the lack of money in radio. But AM radio, and to some degree FM too, but AM radio is dead. It is a goner. The only stations that are existing are going to either go, this is local, are either going to go complete out of town syndicated programming. It can happen any moment now. Or stations that have a strong sports identity. Ostensibly, that would be KNBR, but guess what? KNBR is not a sports station. They are lucky to have current clients that enable them to put on the mush and the schmucks that call themselves personalities who have about as much personality as I have in my left armpit. You deserve the truth. You deserve clarity and transparency, ladies and gentlemen watching this. You got it.